She's at the forefront of my thoughts, the principal thing I get up in the first part of the day, first thing believed it's to me, is her Shangri-La. She was a wonderful individual outwardly, and she an extremely gorgeous individual. In within she just had a wonderful soul. Shanquella's life and inheritance, presently molded by her last minutes, a fierce beating shared via virtual entertainment, a horrible demise. Well, Holiday with companions after a sluggish, beginning the examination concerning the ruthless wrongdoing perpetrated by an American in Mexico, has all the earmarks of being picking up speed. There are differing variants of what precisely befell Shanquella Robinson. In San Jose del Cabo, the Mexican government has given a capture warrant for an unidentified companion of Robinson, suggesting that they are certain that they'll have the option to recognize no less than one suspect. Is it workable for the companion of Shanquella Robinson, as recorded on their capture warrant, to be removed from U.S. to Mexico to have to deal with penalties of femicide? We should get into it and find out how this is turning out to happen. Robinson, an occupant of North Carolina, is accepted to have died on October 29th because of serious injury to either her spinal line or her neck, while Holiday in the Mexican province of Baja California Rust has been acquired for the suspect accepted to be liable for the demise of a North Carolina lady, Shanquella Robinson. A previous understudy at Winston-Salem State College kicked the bucket in Cabo, Mexico late October, while an extended getaway with companions. Mexican investigators reported they have document charges against a U.S. lady, accepted to be known to Robinson. They didn't name the suspect yet. Strategies are in progress to have the lady removed from the U.S. to have to deal with penalties. The FBI's field office in Charlotte, North Carolina, has likewise affirmed it has begun exploring the matter. This comes after a video surfaced web-based showing somebody going after her, yet, as per the dissection Robertson passed on from neck and spinal wounds, examiners in the state haven't tracked down anybody to fault for Robinson's passing, which is remembered to have occurred in Mexico. A video that turned into a web sensation professed to show Robinson, then 25 years of age, getting seriously beaten by one more young lady, who is subsequently uncovered to be essential for a gathering of companions who had gone from North Carolina to Mexico. One male voice can be heard telling Quala to retaliate, and no less than two individuals were recording the violin. Well, look, can you basically retaliate? On October 29th, Robinson's mom got a call from Robinson's unidentified companions, guaranteeing that Robinson had died from liquor harming. As per the dissection report from Mexico, Robinson kicked the bucket from serious spinal rope injury and chartbook luxation, which basically infers her vertebrae were dislodged to where she was unable to recuperate. As per the police report citations, a specialist from a close-by clinic remained with Robinson and different inhabitants of the home for around 3 hours before he made the authority announcement of death. Robinson's loved ones needed to endure a long time prior to tracking down that their cherished one had been killed in Mexico. As per CNN, state examiners expressed that the proof exhibited that the passing was the consequence of an immediate assault, not a mishap, and that the assault was done by a female colleague of the casualty. They expressed that they had connected with bureaucratic examiners in Mexico, as well as negotiators, with an end goal to get the removal of a female suspect who has not been named so she can have to deal with penalties in Mexico. Individuals in both the U.S. and Mexico were reclaimed by Robinson's passing. As per Salamandra Robinson, who addressed CBS News, her girl was found in the video. She likewise referenced that a male who was additionally on the excursion supposedly was her closest friend. Is she discussing Khalil? As per the nearby examiner, Antonio Lopez Rodriguez, a capture warrant has been given for the suspect, and the episode is being researched as a potential homicide. After Robinson's body was found at All Manor, the remainder of the gathering chose to leave Mexico. The state's lawyer, Daniel de la Rosa Anaya, guaranteed the subsequent suspect was likewise American, in spite of the fact that he gave no insights concerning who she was for a situation. including the strange demise of Shanquella. Mexican authorities made a solicitation to the U.S. government last month to remove one of their kin, so they might confront arraignment. As per specialists, the U.S. might have no real option except to submit to the removal, while it's uncommon for a U.S. resident to be removed from the nation, assuming that stuff is taken on account of Shanquella Robinson. The case changes from a direct criminal examination concerning a conciliatory examination, including various segments of the U.S. government procedures in administrative court and inquiries about the legitimate securities of the American suspect. As per John Perry, a regulation teacher at Lewis and Clark Graduate School, who is concentrated on global removal, expresses this training obviously brings up the issue of whether we as residents reserve the privilege to not be seized and effectively got rid of from the U.S. to be placed being investigated and conceivably imprisoned on criminal accusations. In one more country, there are two potential situations for the capture warrant, as per Joey Jackson, a lawyer and lawful analyst for CNN One Decision, is to remove the companion as Mexico has requested by Jackson. Mexico might partake in the arraignment. The option is for the American government to reach out and have the case attempted. There is regulation that could accommodate the indictment to occur in this country in the occasion you go abroad, and an American individual is at last killed by one more American resident. Regardless, Jackson appeared to be saying that the capture warrant would be maintained, and that he would before long face other lawful results. A 45-year-old peaceful accord has provisions considering removals to and from Mexico, the U.S. of America, and the Unified Mexican States. 1978 removal understanding was affirmed by President Bill Clinton in 1998 with an expressed objective of further developing coordinated effort between the policing of the two nations. 3 years after the fact, a Mexican court requested the removal of two American residents who had killed two different Americans. The two people were confined in the U.S. and consequently sent back to Mexico for removal. There was no less than one example in ongoing history in which the U.S. didn't satisfy the settlement that had been endorsed with Mexico after a shooting frenzy occurred in 2019 at a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. The Public Authority of Mexico started procedures to remove the suspect answerable for the passings of 8 Mexican residents during the occurrence, as per Mexico's Clergymen of International Concerns. The shooting was a demonstration of psychological oppression, despite the fact that Patrick Crusius has not been called to deal with any consequences regarding such a lethal shooting in a U.S. court. Yet the Washington Post distributed at the time that it's far-fetched that he'll be removed to Mexico and blamed under the legal cycle in that nation. At the end of the day, it's improbable that he'll have to deal with penalties in Mexico. Well, that is all. I want to believe that you partook in the video. In the event that you offered it a go-ahead buy into our channel, and ring the notice chime for additional great recordings, very much like this one. Look at the following video here. Gratitude for observing.